of the.
And we're live.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Township of North Dunbarton's public planning meeting on November 28, 2023. We have two committee of adjustment applications scheduled for this evening's meeting. Members of the public can participate in the meeting in the following ways: attend the meeting in person to speak to an application. Individuals who are present in person can speak to an application when it is reached on the agenda and will be asked to approach the podium to speak, providing their name for the public record. All speakers are provided with 5 minutes to address an application. The clerk will time each speaker and advise the chair when the limit has passed. Second, you can register with the clerk in advance to attend electronically via Zoom. Members of the public who have registered to attend electronically were provided with a Zoom link to join the meeting and have indicated to which application they would like to speak. Staff will move these individuals who have registered into the meeting to speak in order of the application being heard. And finally, members of the public can submit written comments to the clerk division. Written comments are provided to the mayor and council members prior to the meeting and will form part of the public record. I'd now like to call the meeting to order, and can I have approval of the agenda, please, Councilor Rowland?
Moving myself and Council Williams, that council adopt the November 28, 2023 public planning meeting agenda as presented with the following: addendum 1, at correspondence from Grand Bridge Energy for item 7.3, report number PD 51-2023, 1161 Street, file number A-1323. 2, add correspondence from Enbridge for item 7.3, report number PD 51-2023, 1161, file number A-1323. 3, add email correspondence from Jill Barker for item 7.2, report number P 49-2023, 1174 Grand Highway, file number A-1223.
All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. I would now like to do the Indigenous acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Mutual people. We acknowledge the enduring presence of the Indigenous people with whom we share this land today, their achievements and their contributions to our community. We offer this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples of Canada. And I think we believe we've made strides with our Indigenous partners, and we have in a lot of places. But I was shocked in the last week to hear a couple more Indigenous taken. And the concern, I don't understand this. I don't know why people think they have the right to do this. We have to treat each other with mutual respect and understanding. And I find a lot of times when I work with the Indigenous, have been passionate, caring, and just good people. And so let's contemplate and let's hope that those 2 that are missing will be found safe. Hope that this stops. Thank you. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general interest? Seeing none. Motion to adjourn citizens committee of the whole, please, Council Williams. To adjourn. 6.1. I guess part of the meeting. Oh, it is. It is minutes, please. I can add myself, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councilwoman, that council approve the public planning meeting minutes dated October 24, 2023.
All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Now, Councillor Austin, would you please adjourn us?
Move by myself, second by Councilor Shelley, that the council meeting be adjourned at 7:04 p.m. Sit as committee of adjustment for the purposes of holding public meetings pursuant to the provisions of the planning.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next is committee adjustment. Council Tilly, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Connor, that the Committee of Adjustment approve the meeting minutes dated October 24th, 2023.
All in favor? Carried, thank you. That's my personal. So 7.2 is a report number PB 49-2023, and my variance application for 1174 Brantford Highway file number 88-12/23. Notice has been given in accordance with the Planning Act. The Deputy Secretary Treasurer will report everyone who comments on this application and attends in person or electronically. Those individuals will be notified of the decision on the convening of future meetings. I'd now like to introduce Christina Blaziovic, Planning GIS Technician, who will present this application. Christina, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The following presentation is for minor variance application A-12/23 located at 1174 Brantford Highway. The purpose of this meeting is to advance a recommendation for the committee's consideration on the merits of the application. The property is located on the west side of Brantford Highway, north of the intersection of Williamville Road and Brantford Highway. The property has a lot frontage of approximately 75.4 meters onto Brantford Highway and is 1.62 acres in size. The subject property consists of a two-story single detached dwelling and an accessory building. Surrounding land uses are rural residential. The property is zoned set 3 rural residential and designated settlement residential and is already in the township official plan. The applicant proposes to convert a portion of the existing accessory building into a coach house. Also to recognize the office space on the remaining portion of the accessory building, and to recognize the existing parking area of the principal dwelling. This photo is the front elevation of the accessory building. Highlighted in blue is the area proposed to be converted to a coach house, and highlighted in yellow is the area proposed to remain as an accessory building. Shown on the screen is the concept plan of the subject property. The red star indicates the location of the existing accessory building and proposed coach house. And the principal dwelling is located to the east and closer to the road frontage. As mentioned, the applicant proposes to convert a portion of the accessory building into a coach house, which is highlighted in blue in the photos. Both the first story and second story are shown in the photos on the right. The principal dwelling has a building footprint of approximately 197 meters square, and the proposed size of the coach house is 167 meters square, including the unhabitable area consisting of the laundry and mechanical space. The unhabitable areas, including the laundry and mechanical rooms, would generally not be included in the overall size calculation. However, planning staff have included these areas in the overall size to simplify the future building permit process. The applicant is proposing to establish a top amenity area for the proposed coach house that will be approximately 140 meters square. The existing height of the proposed coach house building is 7.28 meters, and the principal dwelling has a height of 6.7 meters. The owner is requesting the following minor variances for the proposed coach house. Section 640.3 of the zoning bylaw establishes that a coach house may not be severed from the lot containing the principal dwelling. The owner seeking relief from this provision to permit the coach house to be severed in the future. Section 6.40.7 establishes that the size of the coach house must not be greater than 40% of the footprint of the principal dwelling unit. The owner seeks relief from this provision to permit the coach house to be 84.78% of the footprint of the principal dwelling unit. Section 6.40.8I states that the coach house height cannot exceed the height of the principal dwelling, and in no case shall be more than 6.1 meters. The owner seeking relief from this provision to permit a coach house height of 7.28 meters, and to permit the coach house to exceed the principal dwelling by approximately 0.58 meters. Section 6.40.14II establishes that the maximum driving width of the coach house may be 6.1 meters. The owner seeking relief from this provision to permit the existing driveway to have a width of 7.32 meters. And section 6.40.16 establishes that the roof of the building containing the coach house may not contain an amenity area. The owner is seeking relief from this provision to permit an outdoor rooftop amenity area. The remaining portion of the accessory building will have a building footprint of approximately 242 meters squared and will consist of the garage, office space, and bathroom. The following variances are requested for the accessory building and principal dwelling. Section 6.4.4 establishes that no dwelling unit or habitable room may be established within the accessory building. The owner is seeking relief from this provision to permit the existing office space to be located within an accessory building. Section 6.18.1 establishes that such office for the occupant of a permitted dwelling unit shall be located within a private dwelling unit. The owner seeking relief from this provision to permit the office space to be located within an accessory building. In section 6.18.2 establishes that an area equal to not more than 25% of the ground floor area of a private dwelling unit shall be used for the office space. The owner seeking relief from this provision to permit an area of 75.75 meters squared. And lastly, section 6.13.1b establishes that all off-street parking areas shall be situated to the rear of the building line. The owner seeking relief from this provision to permit the existing off-street parking for the principal dwelling to be situated in front of the building. The photo on the top left is a view from Brantford Highway. The principal dwelling is located on the right and the accessory building is located on the left side. The photo on the right shows the principal dwelling and the existing parking situated in front of the building line. The photo on the bottom left shows the accessory building and also highlights the existing driveway there. There is one piece of correspondence received from the adjacent resident. The resident had stated that the work on the accessory building had been completed prior to building permits. That the accessory building has been converted to an apartment without permits and recently occupied by family members, and that the resident is opposed to the requested variances being sought by the applicant and suggests the property be returned to its original state. Staff's response: so as per comments received from the owner that dated October 6, 2023, the owner's family members have not moved into the proposed coach house but have stored personal belongings in the building. As of right, a coach house is a permitted use on this property. The applicant is seeking to establish a coach house that is larger in size than the permitted maximum under our general zoning bylaw. The applicant, through this application, is seeking the appropriate approvals to obtain compliance with the general zoning bylaw. And as stated by the building department, building permits will be required to implement the proposed minor variances if approved by the community. There have been no concerns from the GRCA, the Region of Waterloo, Canada Coast, Grandbridge Energy, Waterloo Catholic District School Board, or the Township's Engineering and Public Works Department. The building department had the following comments: that the applicant will be required to obtain building permits to establish the coach house, that all inspections are required prior to occupancy of the space, and that septic review will be required as part of the building permit process. Planning staff are of the opinion that the requested variances meet the four tests of the minor variances outlined by the Planning Act. The first test being if the variances conform to the general intent of the zoning bylaw. In this case, the coach house is a permitted use on the subject property as well as home occupation. While the home occupation space is not located within the principal dwelling unit, it is located within the existing building, existing accessory building in the property, and is of an appropriate size. While the proposed size of the coach house is larger than the permitted maximum, it will remain secondary to the principal dwelling and is an appropriate use for this existing building. And the proposed development is compatible with surrounding land uses as it remains low density residential. Secondly, the variance is conformed with the general intent of the official plan. The official plan directs development towards settlement areas, and the subject property is located within the settlement area. The official plan also regulates its uses through the township zoning bylaw, which, as mentioned, permits coach house and home occupation. Third, if the proposed variances are desirable, a coach house will provide additional housing for this community. The proposed rooftop amenity area is an existing space, and it's desirable to be utilized as an outdoor amenity space for the coach house. And lastly, if the proposed variances are minor in nature, there are no proposed changes to the existing accessory building, and the exterior of the existing accessory building will not become larger, and will not impact the existing streetscape or cultural heritage of the principal residence. The existing building maintains appropriate setbacks and is sustained by private services. The applicant had previously consulted with the township for a future consent application in which it was determined that a consent application could be supportable, given that the subject property is located within a rural settlement area, and that a consent would generally be supportable. Staff was satisfied that a variance to permit the severance of the coach house in the future is minor in nature. The coach house has an existing and separate septic system, hydro service connection, and driveway onto Brantford Highway. And the location of the rooftop amenity area is to the rear of the accessory building and not visible from the road frontage. So there are no residents or future development to the rear of the subject property that would create concern regarding privacy and the rear yard. Staff recommend that minor variance application B-12/23 for 1174 Brantford Highway be approved, subject to the following conditions. That the office space located on the ground floor within the accessory building shall be used as a home occupation space by the principal dwelling and or the coach house only. And that the rooftop amenity area of the coach house shall remain unenclosed. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Is Corey on? And Corey, do you wish to say anything or just want to?
No, I have nothing to add to the application.
Okay, thank you. Are there no members of the public that want to speak? So council, is there any questions or comments? Seeing none, a motion is formed, Councilwoman. Yeah, thank you.
Moved by myself, by Council Williams, that report number 49-2023 be received. And then minor variance application A-1223 being requested permanent existing office space to be located on the ground floor within an accessory building, whereas section 6.44 of general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes that no dwelling unit or building room may be established within an accessory building. B, off-street parking is situated in front of the building line for the principal dwelling, whereas section 6.13.1B general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes that all off-street parking areas shall be situated to the rear of building line or lines. C, the existing office space be located within the ground floor of the existing accessory building, whereas section 6.18.1 of general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes that such home occupation or office space or headquarters for the occupant of the dwelling unit shall be located within a private dwelling unit. D, an office area of 75.75 meters squared, 38.45%, whereas section 6.18.2 of general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes that an area equal to not more than 25%, 49.25 meters squared, the ground floor area, the private dwelling unit shall be used for the office space. E, the severance of the coach house in the future, whereas section 6.40.3 of general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes that the coach house may not be severed from the lot containing the principal dwelling. F, the coach house to be 84.78%, 167 meters squared of footprint of the principal dwelling unit, whereas section 6.40.7 of general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes the side of the coach house must not be greater than 40%, 78 meters squared of footprint of the principal dwelling unit. G, the coach house to exceed the height of the principal dwelling unit, or principal dwelling, by 0.58 meters, 1 foot to 10.5 inches, and permanent coach house height of 7.28 meters, 23 and 10.5 inches, whereas section 6.40.8 general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes that the building height cannot exceed that of the principal dwelling, in no case shall be more than 6.1 meters or 20 feet in height. H, to recognize the existing driveway width of 7.32 meters, whereas section 6.40.14 bylaw 689-83 establishes the maximum driveway width may be 6.1 meters. And I, a rooftop outside amenity area, whereas section 6.40.16 of general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes that the roof of the building containing a coach house may not contain an amenity area. Be approved, subject to the following. 1, that the office space located on the ground floor within the accessory building shall be used as a home occupation space by the principal dwelling and or the coach house only. And 2, the rooftop amenity area of the coach house shall remain unused.
All those in favor? That's carried, thank you. And, Christine, will let us know when you change people in that. Are we ready, Christine? Next is 7.3, report number PD 51/2023, minor variance application for 1156 Swan Street, file number A 13/23. Notice has been given in accordance with the planning act. Deputy Treasurer will report everyone who comments on the application and attends in person or electronically. Those individuals will be notified of the decision of the convening of future meetings. I'd like to introduce Christina Glasnovic, Planner GIS Technician, who will present this application. Christina, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The following presentations for minor variance application B-13/23 was made at 1156 Swan Street. Purpose of this meeting is to advance a recommendation for the committee's consideration on the merits of the application. The subject property is located on the west side of Swan Street between Burnside Drive and Hilltop Drive. Property has a lot frontage of approximately 8.5 meters onto Swan Street and a lot area of approximately 564 square meters. The subject property consists of a two-story semi-detached dwelling, and surrounding land uses are primarily residential. The subject property is zoned Z5A urban residential with site-specific zoning exemption 20.1.331, and the property is designated urban residential and ancillary in the township official plan. The applicant is seeking to establish a secondary dwelling unit within the basement of the dwelling. The establishment of the secondary dwelling unit requires an additional off-street parking space to be provided. A total of 3 off-street parking spaces are required, including 2 for the principal dwelling and 1 for the secondary dwelling unit. As you can see in the concept plan, 1 off-street parking space is provided within the garage, 1 off-street parking space is provided on the driveway. Due to the minimum required parking space size of 3 meters by 6 meters, the 3rd off-street parking space provided on the driveway is not entirely contained within the limits of the subject property. This area is highlighted in orange. With the establishment of a secondary dwelling unit within the basement, the Ontario Building Code requires the basement window wells to be a minimum size or minimum depth of 21.6 inches. There are 3 existing basement window wells located in the side yard with a depth of approximately 0.6 meters, and the existing side yard is 2 meters. As per section 6.5.3 of the general zoning bylaw, the window wall may project up to 0.3 meters into the required side yard. As per this section of the zoning bylaw, the window walls must maintain a minimum setback of 1.5 meters from the side property line. The proposed window walls will have a setback of 1.44 meters, so this will be an increased projection of approximately 0.06 meters. And the increased width of the window wells is to accommodate a secondary means of egress in the event of a fire. On the right is a photo that highlights the 2 parking spaces located on the driveway with dimensions of 6 meters and dimensions of 5.75 meters. The length of the driveway is approximately 11.6 meters, and a reduced parking stall length from 6 meters to 5.75 would allow the 2 off-street parking spaces located on the driveway to be fully contained within the property boundaries. The 2 off-street parking spaces with a length of 5.75 meters each would total 11.5 meters. The sidewalk along the west side of Swan Street is located adjacent to the curb line. The proposed two tandem parking spaces on the driveway will not overhang the sidewalk and leaves ample space to accommodate the 2 vehicles within the driveway when accounting for the use of a portion of the boulevard. The following minor variances are being requested by the owner from General Zoning Bylaw 689. Section 6.5.3 establishes that in any yard there may be erected or maintained the usual projections of window sills, chimney breast, eaves, and other architectural features, provided, however, that no such feature shall project more than 0.3 meters into any required side yard. The owner is seeking relief from this provision to permit the basement window wells to project 0.36 meters into the required side yard, which is an increase of 0.06 meters or approximately 2.5 inches. Secondly, section 2.160 of the general zoning bylaw requires that an off-street parking space must have dimensions of not less than 3 meters by 6 meters. The owner seeking relief from this provision to permit an off-street parking space, to have dimensions of 3 meters by 5.75 meters. The yellow dashed line in this photo shows the approximate front lot line. As you can see from the adjacent property on the right side, there are 2 vehicles parked in tandem and can be accommodated within the limits of the property. As you can see in the photo on the left, the 2 vehicles parked in tandem will not impact the existing sidewalk. And the photo on the right highlights the proposed entrance to the secondary dwelling unit and the existing window well. The approximate property line is shown with the yellow dashed line. With an increased window well, there is still sufficient space to access the rear and maintain safe access. There have been no comments received from any members of the public, and there are no concerns that have been received from any agencies or township departments. Planning staff are of the opinion that the requested variances meet the 4 tests of the minor variance as outlined by the Planning Act. The first test being that the proposed variance is conform with the general intent of the zoning bylaw. In this case, a secondary dwelling unit is a permitted use within the said 5A zone. The intent of limiting the projection of the window wells into a required side yard setback is to ensure that safe access is provided to the rear yard. The proposed projection of the window well is minimal and will maintain an appropriate setback to the side yard. The intent of the general zoning bylaws is to ensure that off-street parking is provided for the additional dwelling unit that will be established within the basement. The proposed application is able to provide the required number of off-street parking spaces at the reduced parking space size. Number 2, the variance is conform with the general intent of the official plan. The official plan regulates its uses through the township zoning bylaw, which permits a secondary dwelling unit, and the official plan also directs development in 2 separate areas. Third, if the proposed variances are desirable, the increased projection is desirable for the subject property, as the enlarged window walls are required to establish the secondary dwelling unit within the basement. And the establishment of the secondary dwelling unit will provide additional housing supply within the community of air. And the reduced dimensions for the off-street parking spaces are desirable to ensure that the required number of off-street parking spaces can be contained entirely within the limits of the subject property. And lastly, if the proposed variances are minor in nature, the proposed increased projection is approximately 0.6 meters for the window wells and is minor as it will still maintain an appropriate setback to the side yard. The reduced off-street parking space size is minor as it's still an appropriate parking space size to accommodate a vehicle and has been permitted for various developments within the township. And the proposed off-street parking spaces will not impact the existing sidewalk located at the end of the driveway. Planning staff recommend that minor variance application A-13/23 for 1156 Swan Street be approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Any members of the public want to speak? Councilors, any questions? Councilor Roman.
Madam Mayor, through to Christina. In the past, I have received complaints about people parking in the bike lane along there. And it's not due to the length of the driveways, because the driveway is only really 1 car wide. Look at the picture she posted of the adjacent semi unit. You can see there's actually 2 different driveways. Each driveway is only 1 car wide. So what's happening is they're jockeying cars parking 1 car like me. And finding another car in and out. So my only concern really is about parking. Parking the bike lane is not really what we want to endorse. I want to make sure that parking is dealt with. Is there any other options? Like can they widen the driveway and have an additional cars go in front of the property, or is it already maxed out?
Christina.
Through minor major Councilwoman, I would have to confirm that based on the existing width right now, if it can be widened, but then it would also have to ensure that they maintain the appropriate soft landscaping in the front yard.
Any other question? Seeing none, Cedar is on. Cedar, did you want to say anything?
Hello, everyone. I am kind of new to this whole setup. I would just request that you you look into it and see what you can suggest.
So how do we deal with this parking on the bike lanes? See all the variance suggestions.
So now, Mayor, we can, first of all, sure that the resident there is aware of that you cannot park under the Highway Traffic Act within a bike lane. And make sure you have bylaw enforcement at all locations where there is designated bike lanes in accordance with the bylaw accordingly.
Thank you, Stephen. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please, Council Williams?
Moved by myself, second by Council Wilman, that PD report number 51-2023 be received. And that minor variance application A-13-23 being a request to seek relief from general zoning bylaw 69-83 to permit A, the basement window wells to project 0.36 meters into the established side yard, whereas section 6.5.3 general zoning bylaw 689-83 establishes that in any yard there may be erected or maintained usual projections of window sills, chimney rests, belts, cornices, eaves, and other architectural features, provided however that no such features shall project more than 0.3 meters 1 foot into any required side yard be approved. B, and that the off-street parking space dimensions of 3 meters by 5.75 meters, where section 2.160 of general zoning bylaw 69-E3 requires an offset parking space to have dimensions of less than 3 meters by 6 meters be approved.
All those in favor? That's carried, thank you. Councillor Austin, a motion to commit to carry on. Yeah.
Moved by myself, second by Council Kelly, that pursuant to the Planning Act, the public meeting of the adjustment adjourned at 7:31 p.m. And the council meeting be called back to order.
All those in favor? It's carried, thank you. No meetings, no closed session. Confirmatory bylaw, please, Council Taylor.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Austin. That by bylaw number 3448-23 being a bylaw to confirm the proceeding of Council on November 28, 2023, be the first, second, and third time and finally to pass, signed and sealed by the mayor and deputy clerk.
All those in favor? It's carried, thank you. And the adjournment, please, Council Williams.
Myself by Council Williams, that whereas visit for the public planning meeting has been concluded at 7:32 p.m. And we resolve the meeting adjourned and council meets again on December 11th, 2023 at 6 p.m. for combined council meeting.
All those in favor? That's carried, thank you. Hey, the same.